I'm Stephanie Morgan.
I'm Chuck Lichtenberger.
Tim Haney is our drummer.
Jacob Rodriguez is our saxophone player. Justin Ray is our trumpet player. And in Asheville we have JP on guitar and Matthew Richmond on vibraphone and percussion.
The id is, in my mind, just the real person. So this project was all about like the real me. Well, I started singing when I was a little kid. I sang a bunch. I was always like a performer, but I never performed for other people on like an official, level till I went to work at a wilderness camp for kids with emotional issues, and they were a great audience. And I found out that the only music that we could have at the camp was music that we made. We couldn't have pre-recorded music, and I didn't realize until that point how important music was to me, or just listening to music was to me. And so my mom had always wanted me to play guitar, so I picked up an acoustic guitar and strummed, like my cowboy chords, and then started playing with people, the different counselors at the camp in town, and so just started playing from there. But I don't have I'm not a trained musician like Chuck. I'm a self-trained musician, and I've learned, painstaking, or what is the word? I've learned begrudgingly. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Like every bit of music theory and technical prowess that I possess has come through agonizing, kicking and screaming on my part. Despite Chuck's amazing ability to teach, it's just I'm not always the best student.
But on the other hand, I think it's frustrating for you to teach me to sing the backup parts, because she just starts singing and it comes out of her, and I'm like,
well, I'm just impatient in general, so
where's that
so I'm
note?
Sorry. I'm apologizing now in public.
Awesome.
I'm apologizing to you.
I appreciate that. I don't even think about it. I feel like there's a huge backlog of songs, and I almost want her to stop. As far as like ideas that I have, I've got too many, so I don't even, if it has to come out, it'll come out. I'll be like, okay, here it is.
His juices just flow. There's like nothing.
All right, yeah.
There's nothing he has to do to get his creative juice flowing. I, on the other hand, have to do a lot of things. So let's just talk about me.
Well, I guess you don't have the talent like I do for it.
I have to go take myself on retreat. I have to go to another city, or go to the beach where there's a lot of white noise, like the ocean or something, so I don't get distracted because I'm really ADHD. And I have to sometimes get with other people, like for this latest album. Yeah, I have to do all kinds of little games that I play with myself to make myself write songs. The first one came out in what year?
2005.
That was called Spiral In, and it didn't have any guitars on it.
Band for a while was a piano, vibraphone, drum, and singer quartet, which was a fairly strange grouping. And in fact, we stayed that way through a couple of different personnel changes. We've stayed those four instruments. A vibraphone is it's a mallet instrument that you plug into the wall, and it's got a motor that
Like a tremolo.
like a tremolo motor. Yeah.
Gives it that.
Like,
Then Bruce Americanus, the seeds of that were started right here, right? When we did Unmistakably Love.
yeah.
We were just jamming with Vic, the drummer. So Chuck was playing keyboard. I was just singing into the 58 microphone, and I had some lyrics already and kind of the idea, a melody for a song. And anyway, we started jamming and recorded the song in here, and then we did some overdubs later. But really, that was the meat of the song, and that's what made us decide. Okay, we're gonna move a little bit more toward this kind of sound.
Our third record, Warm People, was the most cohesive one of that. And I think we had a sound on that record. And there's a definite sound to that record, and all the songs make sense together.
Yeah, I think yeah. And we've been touring with the same band for a while. This band has had a lot of personnel changes, but we have been touring with the same group, and just went in the studio, and within 4 days just laid it all down, kind of as toured, So it was really fast. It kind of came together really magically in the studio. And then I didn't want to do an album after that. I was like kind of done with doing albums for a little while. So it was a long time. I started releasing singles because I really liked pop songs, and I was overwhelmed by thinking about doing a whole album. But I really wanted to do, I really wanted to experiment with some recording and with some layering of stuff, and I really wanted to take the reins a lot more on this one, the production, the everything. I wanted to go in that direction.
When we first started off with this record and we decided that we were going to do it all in the basement and Stephanie was going to produce it, I had in my mind this sound that was going to be cool, but I thought it was going to be a lo-fi kind of sound. And when I listened to the record, it sounds like a big studio record to me, and I don't know how you do that.
Well, the funny thing is I don't think that there was no expectation for what the sound was going to be. It was kind of like it was a big experiment, and maybe it was going to be something people would like to hear, and maybe it wasn't. So there was that. I don't think I'd ever been so we'll see how this goes before about making an album. I have so many friends in studios that I almost don't want to say this because it is dreamy to work in a beautiful studio. But if you don't have the funds to kind of make that happen in the way that you want it to happen, it's just so possible now. I think that the other part of it that was huge for us, especially for me maybe, but for all of us, is that when you walk into a studio, you're going somewhere that you never hang out, and that's the time that you are supposed to give your best performance ever, and that's the one that's going to be immortalized for the rest of eternity. That's going to be the performance that's out there. If you are in your space where you created the music in the first place, it's a lot easier to sort of get in your zone and produce something that's more genuine to you, I think. In the studio, you spend a lot of time sitting around and waiting and reading magazines about bands that are doing really, really well. And then somebody says, "Oh, it's your turn," and then you've suddenly got to be an awesome vocalist, and just make your thing happen and be the most genuine communicator of your lyrics that you could possibly be. And I think that's really hard to do. People pull it off all the time, and I think we pulled it off on the albums previous, but it really felt particularly good to be able to listen back to stuff. And I would re-record. I had no shame about re-recording a lot of stuff because I was like, no, that's not the way I wanted to say it. That's not exactly the tone, that's not the inflection I wanted to have on this note. So especially with the vocals, I really kind of fetishized little pieces of things and just made them exactly the way I wanted. But we all got to do that,
Well,
a lot of takes.
It was great. Like I would do a take and then go up and take a bath and come down and do another take.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Are you still feeling it?" And he'd go, "No, I think I'm done for a little while." Then he'd come back down. But you just don't have that luxury, But it was also a ton of work. Like I really learned I gained a great amount of respect for engineers, for producers, for people that have to make the decisions that I've previously not had to make, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. In fact, I want to do everything in the future like this because it's just too much fun to have a hand in all parts of the creation and then just see it come together and just love it. I mean, this is the closest to the symphony, to the mental symphony, and for I don't know if I can speak for all of us, but I mean, I feel like performance-wise that we all gave our best performances that we've given, and so I'm really proud of it.